I'm Autumn Franks, and today we will be using a Buret. The first thing you want to do is gather your beaker to collect waste in, your Erlenmeyer flask for a little titration, and DI water, which we're using to rinse and as our titrant today. You'll want to make sure everything is cleaned and dried and ready to go. And our first step is going to be to clean the Buret. You can see the Buret right here. When this valve is parallel to the surface of the table, the Buret's closed. And when you turn the valve like this, the Buret's open and things can flow through it. To rinse it, first we're going to close it up. And we're going to very carefully pour some DI water in there. First thing we're going to do, once you can see there's some water in there, is over our waste beaker, we're going to open it up the valve and allow some of the water to go through the tip. That rinses out this whole tip area. Now very carefully we're going to turn it on our side, spin the Buret as it pours out. You can tap it gently to make sure all the water comes out. And we'll repeat this process two more times, so 3 in total. Once all the water is out of the Buret, what you're going to want to do is rinse it out with the titrant, which in this case is water again, but you want to do this when you have a different titrant specifically so that you're sure that there's no water stuck in there that'll mess with your results later for your titration. Alright. Now I'm going to pull over our ring stand and clamp that I've already prepared. You can see we just twist this on here to make sure it's tight. And then, the angle is, you squeeze these and place the Buret nicely inside the finish. I'll move you so you can see. Whoop. There we go. Nice and steady. Now what we can do is take the Erlenmeyer flask and put it here. I'm going to do that once I put the phone down. So I'm going to pull this upwards so that it's easier to get the flask underneath. and you should have about an inch, inch and a half of the Buret inside the Erlenmeyer flask. Now, it's a little bit hard to see, so I'll show you down here. I have our Buret funnel, but you have to be careful not to form a vacuum when you stick it inside the funnel. If you stick it in too tight, it'll form a vacuum and nothing will go in. So I'm going to put this way up there. Nice work. And that's how we'll fill our Buret. Now, since I'm short, I'm going to lower all of this so that this flask is at eye level. That way I can actually get the titrant in there. Once I'm sure that this is tightened, I will fill this up. Now, the easiest way to do it is to make sure is right there at the bottom of the 0. You can see here we set it like that. It just keeps you from having to do any funky subtraction later. I'm going to slide this right back up. Make sure it's nice and secure. Then I can remove my funnel. Now, our initial reading on the Buret I showed you a second ago was 0.00. It says to choose significant figures. I'm not sure how many significant figures you can have with 0. But I'm content with that. So now we're going to use this little valve here called the stopcock to dispense some of the water into our little titration system here. So we turn it up like this to dispense. And the reason that we can dispense now is because there's no bubbles inside of our little Buret. You can see, I don't know if you can see, I can see, but there's no bubbles present anywhere in here that would mess with our measurements. So we finish our little titration now that we've seen that there's no bubbles and everything seems to be working okay. I'm gonna try for 6.2. For no reason other than that it seems like a good number. We were close. Let me hold up my notebook behind it so you can see. Looks like we got it at approximately, if I can get it to focus, 6.3 milliliters. I'm sorry, it won't focus. There we go. 6.3 milliliters. So two significant figures, right? So the final volume of our little titration was 6.3 milliliters, as we dispensed 6.3 milliliters from 0 to 6. I think that's really all we have to say here. When you're done with your titration, you have to make sure to clean everything up, wash all your beakers out, and clean up your waste. It would be a good idea to rinse out your Buret entirely, as well as put everything in the ring stands, the clamps, all of that back on the equipment rack where you got it from. And rinse everything out with DI water to make sure it's totally clean. But that's all I have for you today. Bye!